The purpose of this video is to show you how to create an eBay listing for one specific buyer that no one else is going to bid on or buy it now on or anything. They will not have anything to do with this listing. Only one specific buyer that you've been in touch with, and that buyer says, I'm really looking for XYZ. And if you happen to have one, you should put it up. Tell the guy what you have, describe it, ask if you put it on eBay, would they pay what you want to charge for it, and then create a listing just for them. I want to show you how to do that. It's a special trick. You won't see this anywhere else. This is one of those, why hasn't anyone ever shown me this? I thought we couldn't create listings for specific people on eBay anymore. I think we could used to till about 2006 or 7, but we can't anymore as far as I know. I haven't found that option anywhere. It went away then, and I don't think it's come back. And I know eBay pretty well after 26 years. I know I always say that, but I have to say it. Why would you want to learn from someone that's got 4 years experience and they get on YouTube and act like they know what they're doing? Why would you learn from someone like that? I have to be able to prove to you that I have a lot of history, a lot of selling history. I really know what I'm doing. I've also written books about eBay, given conferences across the country about eBay. I've been interviewed by eBay for Business, the podcast that eBay used to have for many years. I know what I'm doing. You really should trust some of the things I say. I'm not saying that I'm infallible, but I know a lot of things that probably could help you. This is one of those if you ever need to create a listing for one person. I'm going to show you an example. I think the most common example as to why you might need to do this. In one of my eBay selling accounts, I sell a lot of player piano rolls. And I like player piano rolls. For some reason, I've had hundreds over the years that I get. I might do a video on these because you'd probably have seen them and walked right past them not knowing what they were. And if you don't know anything about it, in about 5 minutes, I can tell you everything you need to know to sell piano rolls. I'll probably do a video on that. I know it sounds like a very low, BOLO, be on the lookout item that you'll never see. I promise you'll see them. Again, I've sold hundreds over the last 3 years is all. I get large collections of them. They just come to me weirdly. But as a reseller, as long as you put yourself out there and let people know what you do for a living, people will offer you items a lot of times for free. The first 150 or so piano rolls, a friend just gave them to us and said, these have been sitting out in these 2 plastic large tubs for years. We're not going to do anything about them. Do you want them? And my wife said, yeah, we'll take them. She didn't know anything about them either, but she knew someone's going to want these piano rolls. And we've been selling those. And then a friend of ours, I drove to St. Louis and picked up hundreds of piano rolls from him 2 years ago. And then recently, Janie, my wife, was out sourcing at a garage sale or at an estate sale, and she bought 400 piano rolls. So we've got them. Keep your eyes open. And after this video, now that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to show you how to create a listing for one specific buyer. But I'm going to use the piano rolls as an example because there are several reasons why you might want to create a listing for one specific buyer. And what I'm about to show you just happened to me last night. So I'm going to show you, and you'll know why you need to know how to create a listing for one specific buyer. So here is a picture of some piano rolls. I generally like to sell them one at a time. So let me just scroll through my store. Some of them, like this one here, ornate. Some of them are plain, different vendors, but they all basically look the same. I take basically the same pictures of no matter what the song is or what the brand is or what the piano roll is, because I have about 8 or 9 pictures. I always take a picture that looks like this, that shows everything, including the return card if it still is in the box. I show a little bit of the leader, the front part of the piano roll. I show the box. The other pictures show closer up your player piano, grabs that loop, and if the loop it's been broken or torn off, the buyer needs to know that. Now, a lot of piano roll buyers know how to fix piano rolls. They're really good at that sort of thing. So they'll still buy some pretty bad piano rolls, but it's nice to show if yours isn't in bad shape. It's always nice. So I do a close-up of this, a close-up of the ink. This ink's faded. That's common. I take it out of the box and show the inside of the box. I show the end label. You can't really see one here. Oh, we can just look at one here. So I show pictures like that and that and that and that and that. Anyway, that's about it. And all of my piano roll listings basically have those same pictures. Now, once in a while, you will see in this account that I use for piano rolls, you will see a lot of piano rolls, 8 or 10. Notice these are pretty old looking piano rolls. Well, they are old. Some are in pretty bad shape. These are in pretty good shape. Whenever I sell one individually, it's a pretty good piano roll. Might need a minor repair. These I always sell in lots whenever they're going to need some special attention by someone that knows what they're doing, which most piano roll players know. A lot of them do. So I sell lots of piano rolls. None of these are worth selling by themselves. They'd bring $2 or $3. I'm not going to mess with that. It's hard enough to sell a piano roll for $7, but sometimes That's all it's worth. The nice thing is I just reuse the same listing over and over and over and over. I just have to change the catalog number, title, and the brand and pictures. That's about it. So it's real easy to list piano row after piano row. It's real easy to list 30 piano rows, 40 and 50 in one day because I use the same format. And even if you don't ever sell piano rows, you need to know this for what if you get a bunch of the same items that are like this. Like I'm getting ready to go to Dallas to buy 400 Funko Pop toys. Now, Funko Pops have lost their pop. They don't sell as well as they used to. They're no longer in as much of a demand. It all depends on supply and demand. But it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to take the same set of pictures for every Funko Pop in a box. When I say the same thing about every Funko Pop, all I'm going to do is change the condition, the title, the model number, and pictures. And it's just list. Easy peasy. You don't have to come up with any new format or new words or anything. That's why I like piano rows. I like a lot of things that differ in their title or in their whatever it is, but they're basically the same form of item, and I've got a bunch of them to sell. These are real easy to list a lot of. So if I only get, let's scroll down here. If I only get $8.77 for this, or if someone makes me an offer and I accept $7.35 for this, well, that's okay. They're not fragile. I just one layer of bubble wrap and put them in a box and ship them off. Slap the label, real easy. So yeah, I know that whenever I'm selling a lot of 150 piano rolls, some of them are going to bring $7, $8, $9. Some of them will bring $13, $14. So it's worth it overall to do these. They're so easy to list. Okay, back to the problem at hand. How do you create a listing for one buyer? I had this listing right here up for sale for 8 piano rolls for $24.95. As you can tell, these aren't worth much individually. You can tell from the boxes they're in bad shape because probably the piano rolls inside have a few more problems when the boxes look this bad and they have this old aged tape. So I want $25 for all of them. Someone's going to offer me $17.95 and I'll take it probably. And I just ship them in one box and I get them out of here. It's not worth selling them individually for $2 a piece, but as a batch it is. Now, someone liked one of the piano rolls and said, I want to offer $8 for this listing of 8 rolls, but I only want one of the rolls. You can keep all the rest and sell those again. And all that he really wants is, I just don't charge full shipping. I'm not going to charge him as much shipping as 8 piano rolls cost. I'm going to charge him as much shipping as one cost. But if he makes an offer, which actually this is already done. So he bought this with an offer of $8. When he made an offer, he had to pay $8 plus enough shipping to mail 8 boxes because that's what I've set up this listing to be. But I told him, I will refund you all excess shipping. I'm just going to mail the one. That's what you want. And I'm going to refund all extra shipping charges. He said, thank you. Great. So that's what he did. There's another way to handle that. And that is, what if he just wants the one and he didn't really want to make an offer? He kind of doesn't trust me that I won't charge him shipping. He doesn't know who I am, although my feedback's really good. 11,207 feedbacks, all positive. He doesn't know. And he said, can you create a listing with just that one? You've got 8 here. Can you create a listing with just one? Because that's all I want. And I'll pay you $8 plus shipping for that one. And I said, sure, no problem. So that's what I did. I took this listing down. Oh boy, if you don't take this listing down, you're in trouble because it's still live. And you send off that one out of this listing and sell it to him, and you still have all 8 for sale, and someone wants all 8, and they really look forward to the one, and you go, oh no, it doesn't have that one. So when this happens, you take this one down immediately, and then you create a listing for this special buyer who just wants the one. Now, if I created a listing for this one roll and put $8 on the listing, and it's just a normal listing, before he got around to buying it, he might have been at work or something. Before he gets around to buying it, someone else might have bought that roll for $8. And that wouldn't be right. I told him I'd sell it to him. What do I do? Well, I do the following. And I created one of these listings just to show you what you can do. What you can do is create one listing with that one roll that he wants. Now, this is a different roll because I've shipped the one and all of that, but I created a brand new listing with just the one. I took it out. I had to take all new pictures. Now, I didn't really have to take all the pictures, but if he flakes out, I want to be able to just list this one because I already created the listing. So what you do is you create a listing, you tell him you're doing this, you create a listing with just like a normal listing and you describe it just in case he doesn't end up buying it, and you charge an outrageous price for this listing, $179.95. No one in their right mind, no one in their wrong mind is going to pay $180 for this old roll. Even if the roll he wanted, maybe it's a gem and I'm undercharging, maybe it's worth $50. It's not worth $180. I know that. So I created a new listing with that one that he wants for $180. And I, of course, as always, allow best offer. And I told him, here's the link to this new listing of the item you want. And its shipping is just for one item. You're not going to pay 8 shippings. You just want the one. I'm just going to charge you to mail you one of these. If you will make me a best offer by clicking make offer and offer me $8, then I will accept that offer. As long as it's you, I will accept that offer. And that way, I have just created a listing specifically for him. Even though technically anybody can buy this for $180, no one's going to buy it for $180. It really is just for him. He's the one that wants this specific roll. Maybe someone else does too, but I'm not going to accept their offer. I'm going to accept his offer for $8 whenever he makes me an offer, and I will now ship this roll to him. That's the way that you kind of get around the fact there's no technical way to create a listing for just one buyer's eBay ID, but this is the way you can create a listing for one buyer who's the only one on earth who's going to buy it, because this buyer knows the secret that you and he agreed on, and that is you will accept $8 as your lowball offer if it's him who makes the offer. So you learned a little bit about piano rolls. That wasn't really the big point. You learned a little bit about why is it good if you've got lots of things that differ just slightly. It's because you can list a ton of things really fast. The big thing is you now know something you don't learn anywhere else. How do you create a listing just for one buyer? You do it this way. Contact the buyer through eBay message, send that buyer the web address of this new item, and tell him or her, click the make offer button, make me an offer of 8, and it's yours. We will accept yours. This is the way you create listings for one specific person. Over your eBay career, you're going to be needing this. You will. You'll be needing it at various times.